Good evening. Recently, in a study by Australian National University Department of Psychology, it was found, and that's based on the data of that study, that research, that financial security is directly linked to enhancing longevity and healthy aging. So, as per this study, financial security is a very strong factor for improving physical and mental health in the senior ages. That is when you retire. Financial security is an extremely important factor in ensuring that people have a good quality of life by providing them social connectedness, access to resources, and also access to the latest available technology for various tasks, not just medical, for day-to-day activities, for transport, for a lot of other things which cost handsome amount of money. So the importance of financial security in old age, in senior age, once you retire, cannot be more prominently bolden, italicized, and underlined, if not as this study brings out. So, with this as a backdrop, we'll move on to the today's discussion. And what is the problem statement which we'll try and address today? आपको क्या वो समस्या है जिसके लिए आज सवाल या जिस सवाल का आज आज मेजरली जवाब ढूंढने की कोशिश करेंगे? तो रिटायरमेंट का मतलब क्या है? रिटायरमेंट का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप जो है वो है नहीं। रिटायरमेंट का मतलब है कि वो आप 65 के हैं, आपकी कैपेसिटी टू अर्न फ्रॉम एक्टिव वर्क फॉर वेरियस रीजंस कुड बी दैट the business or the industries are not ready to employ you vis-a-vis a younger person, or your own health does not allow you to work 10-12 hours a day which you are used to working. So your capacity to earn money by active work is diminishing, वो कम होती जा रही है। अब आपका खर्चा जो है वो अभी है, लेट्स से यू आर यूज्ड टू स्पेंडिंग 1.5 लाख रुपीज अ मंथ, हाथ में आता है आपको 80-90 हज़ार रुपया, तो 50-60 हज़ार रुपये का गैप प्लस, क्योंकि अब आप कमा नहीं रहे हैं, बट अभी अनदर, इफ यू आर 65-60, यू हैव अनदर 25-30 years टू गो, गॉड विलिंग और भी लंबा जिए, तो आप अब डिपेंडेंट हैं अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स और सेविंग्स के ऊपर, जिसको इन्फ्लेशन लगातार महंगाई बढ़ा रही है, नए खर्चे आते जाएंगे, योर कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग कंटिन्यूज टू गो अप, सो योर डिपेंडेंस नाउ is heavily on your savings and your investments for maintaining the quality of life and the standards of life you are used to. So that's the problem statement we'll try and address today. How to maintain financial security by investing your retirement surplus or the retirement corpus, and make sure that your capital is sufficient to meet your demands for as long as you live, and God willing you have a very long and happy and healthy life. So planning objectives क्या रहेंगे उस problem statement को solve करने के? There are going to be 5 broad planning objectives basis which the financial planning should be done, or basis which the financial planning for retirement should work. And we will start with the bottom rightmost, financial sufficiency. So at any point, one should never be in a situation where there is, one doesn't have the required financial sufficiency or the required capital adequacy to meet the current requirements of money as well as the future cash flow requirements. That's one. Second is tax efficiency. At any point, you should, whether you're retired, you're working, your financial planning should always involve tax efficiency, so that your tax payments are minimum as, whatever is possible as per the given statute. So as there is a saying, so there is a rich, there is a poor, and then there is a taxpayer. Point being that when you are a taxpayer, it is your sacred duty in your finances to make sure that your taxes are you are able to save as much taxes as legally possible. Then third is capital appreciation, and that is how you will achieve capital sufficiency or capital adequacy. Whatever your investments are, they should be able to earn at least 4 to 7% over and above the prevailing long duration inflation rates. And the prevailing long duration inflation rates typically are around 6 to 7%. So if I say 4 to 7% means whatever investments you are putting towards the growth based assets, they should yield you around 12 to 15% compounded average over a long period of time. Next is capital preservation. So this is that one, you will not be taking bets which are extremely risky, where you have a risk of losing your principal itself. And so any financial planning should reduce the speculative element of any kind of a asset class. And we as a organization, we as an entity do not encourage trading in any kind of asset classes. And finally, it is the ease and comfort, wherein your contingencies have been planned. You're not the volatilities are handled well, and you are not under stress in terms of how your money is managed, especially in your senior years when the capacity or the tolerance for volatility or too much of shake-up in your corpus or in your financial assets can cause a lot of stress. So ease and comfort. So when we have these five objectives, how do we achieve these objectives? These are the five objectives which form the bedrock of developing a good financial plan for retirement at the time of retirement and continuing into your senior ages. So for achieving those five objectives, these are the five pronged strategies. First is goal setting. Goal setting based on your risk tolerance as an individual, based on your investment preferences, based on your personal choices and the personal life situation. Depending on your liabilities, your health, your the place where you stay and live. So all those factors which determine a person, individual's life situation and the financial situation. Then combining the personal life situation or the personal financial situation with assets wherein the growth and safety are hybrid or merged together, so that you have the double benefit or the growth aspects, that is your capital grows, you have enough of money, and you also have constant cash flows available to you, so that you are able to meet your regular expenses month on month basis, week on week basis, and so on and so forth. Then rebalancing your portfolios every now and then, every year, periodically, so that the factors of the market I mean, the movement of the market are factored in, and your it is made sure that whatever your financial objectives are, they are met year on year, and the financial philosophy basis which the portfolio was designed, you are able to maintain that philosophy. Portfolio should be tailored to meet your financial requirements, and diversification, so that no undue risk gets concentrated in one asset class or one sector or one segment of assets. So diversification is utilized so that the risk of non-performance is, or maybe NPA in a particular sector does not impact the portfolio overall in a negative way. So that's how we deploy the corpus, so that जो पहले वाले 5 objectives थे वो अच्छे से मीट किए जा सकते हैं. Suggested asset instruments, किन instruments में आप इस चीजों को लगाएं so that your 5 objectives are met. Growth side is equities and real estate. The stability side is debt funds, government bonds, senior citizen saving schemes, etc. So अगर हम बहुत broadly बात करें, one is the growth side, which will give you judicious mix of kind of, I would say, equity oblique real estate along with debt based instruments, so that you achieve the growth and the cash flow requirements both. And capital base is to maintain capital sufficiency and adequacy, which will come from the growth side of this particular flow chart. And then there is the debt funds or the government bond side, which is the regular withdrawal you are doing to meet your regular cash flow requirements. So that's how the asset allocation should be done. That is how it is recommended and that is how it is designed when we work for our clients. और इनिशियली जब आप काफी सारा पैसा लेकर के आते हैं और उसको एक जगह इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, so to reduce the volatility which may happen over a 8, 10, 12 months of period, उसके लिए the instrument used is a very regular instrument which goes by the name of STP, which is systematic transfer plan, जो ये राइट साइड में एक बबल के अंदर लिखा हुआ है. बेसिकली इन दिस money is put in a debt fund, in a very safe debt fund, at times debt funds which purely deal in government treasury funds, और वहां से regular intervals पर it is transferred to the pre-decided percentage and the pre-decided or pre-chosen funds towards equity or mixed portfolios, so that the achievement of growth is also done by, the volatility is controlled and growth is achieved. And going ahead, let's say आपने अपना 1 करोड़ रुपया लिया और उस 1 करोड़ रुपए को इस तरह से डिवाइड करके ग्रोथ और स्टेबल एसेट्स के अंदर डिवाइड करके लगाया, देन after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years, there has to be continuous monitoring and rebalancing of portfolios, so that it never happens कि कोई मार्केट मूवमेंट को आप ट्रैक करके और उसको इंक्लूड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं अपने प्लानिंग के अंदर, या ऐसा ना हो कि आपने कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी मिस कर दी है. सो important factor, if there is too much of market movement, then maybe 6 months, but at least there should be an yearly portfolio rebalancing, so that you are able to review जो आपने investments किए, did they meet the stated objectives, are the achievements as per the targeted returns, or whatever was assumed कि ऐसा हम achieve कर पाएंगे. What have been the material and financial changes in your own life जिसकी वजह से कोई income enhancement हुई है, have there been any kind of a unexpected expense, is there an addition to the family, etc. So that should also be included in the financial planning, or the changes in the financial plan on a yearly basis. What adjustments and changes are needed to be done in the financial plan basis the new changes in life situation, and then accordingly a renewed goal setting which should make some amends or changes to your portfolio. And that is how you will keep on progressing in your retirement year on year, by initially deploying the corpus which you get and then continuing to monitor it at least on a yearly basis to include the changes which will happen in life, because life will have continuous changes. A question which is very often asked: should one invest the retirement corpus in equity oblique real estate at all? Is it prudent? Is it the right step? कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मैं रिस्क ले रहा हूँ अपने 20-30-40 साल के जो पैसा जोड़ा है और जो इसके बाद मुझे कहीं एक मुश्त पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, तो उस पैसे को अगर मैंने कहीं रियल एस्टेट या इक्विटी में लगा दिया तो ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मेरा पैसा डूब जाएगा. ऑफ कोर्स नॉट. अगर आप अच्छे डिलीजेंस के साथ में लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए इक्विटी या रियल एस्टेट में पैसा लगाते हैं तो पैसा डूबता नहीं है, पैसा ग्रो करता है. एंड ग्रोथ जरूरी है, आपको कुछ पोर्शन अपने रिटायरमेंट कॉर्पस से ग्रोथ करवाना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज you will not be left with sufficient money to be able to cater for your even advancing age. So equity and real estate are actually the two asset classes which are directly linked to economic growth, to the growth of the nation's economy, to the growth of the gross domestic product. So you have to, invest in equity, oblique real estate, or both, depending on your personal preferences, but it cannot be zero. If you don't invest in either of the two classes or both the two classes, the problem would be that your capital will continue to diminish because of the inflation and constant withdrawing from the debt instruments. So you should invest in equity oblique real estate, the choice whatever it is, and over a period of time, rightly done, even dividends and rentals are a very prudent and sensible way of generating incomes for augmenting your month-on-month cash flows. So equity and real estate cannot be ignored as a part of the deployment of your financial corpus. Of course, the percentage of investment in these asset classes will depend on an individual's tolerance for volatility and risk. This question is also often asked, would I be needing life insurance? Should I buy life insurance? So इसका कोई straight answer देना बड़ा मुश्किल है. The broad answer would be assess your liabilities. If you're already nearing 60, you have settled your liabilities, your children are settled, their education, marriages have been catered for, then of course you don't need life insurance. But if you are someone who is now a short service officer or an individual who is changing jobs at 40 and getting some corpus there, or someone who is changing jobs at 45, getting some corpus, and you still have liabilities pending, then assess those liabilities, and then a pure term life insurance is definitely recommended to cover those liabilities. And you know, and I would not say that the need for life insurance is not there, but it is not a blanket need. It depends on an individual's life situation, existing liabilities, and what kind of provisions have already been created. Commutation of pension. Now, commutation of pension has been a topic which has been widely covered, and everyone has a view. Our view, or my view, or our view from the organization is that commute, definitely commute because it is a beneficial step, and the cost of money at which you are able to buy the commuted amount, or rather to say the lump sum which is paid to you for a 15-year advance of the commuted pension, is the cost of money at which it is paid to you is quite attractive. मैंने commutation के ऊपर एक अलग से पूरा वीडियो किया था, आप चाहें तो you can go to the YouTube channel and watch that video. Sufficient to say कि आप जो भी अमाउंट कम्यूट करते हैं उसको अगर आप एक बहुत ही run of the mill kind investment में भी invest करते हैं, and if you are someone who is liable to pay taxes, then commutation becomes very attractive. There are certain category of pensioners who, because of either because if they are getting a disability element, then their pensions are exempt from income tax, or if they are the gallantry award winners, then their pensions are exempt from income tax. They will need to invest the commuted amount in avenues where the returns are more on the higher side. So they can still have a rethink about whether they should commute their pensions or not. Other than that, the tax paying category of pensioners should commute and reinvest that amount in avenues which can give them higher returns. And if they have that kind of people available to help them make those investments, then even commute in growth based investments, so that they have grown their capital to an extent कि जब तो commuting वाला period खत्म होता है and their pensions are restored, they have both the cash flows, extra cash flows from the commuted amount, as well as from the capital growth of the assets have been created for them. There is an additional benefit which I don't even know if it is a benefit or not, but technically it is a benefit. In the unfortunate event of the death of the pensioner, the amount of family pension is not impacted by commutation. So the family pension to the survivors is whatever it was, whether you commute or not, there is no difference in the family pension. So अगर उसको भी एक factor count कर लेते हैं, so that's an additional factor which balances or tilts the balance in favor of commutation. Recently, this question has started coming, especially for individuals who want to invest their a part of their retirement corpus into debt funds, that the indexation benefit has been removed. What is the impact? So let me first explain कि इंडेक्सेशन बेनिफिट था क्या. पहले क्या था कि आप जो भी पैसे डेट फंड में लगाते हैं, अगर आप उस पैसे को 3 साल तक उसी फंड में रखते हैं और उस डेट फंड के अंदर जो भी ग्रोथ आती है या जो भी आपको रिटर्न मिलना था इन टर्म्स ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट अर्न और द कूपन ऑन द डेट, देन for those 3 years, whatever the indexation increase or that could be reduced from the interest earned. So therefore, in a way, the taxation benefit taxation impact was less if you are investing in debt fund as compared to say a fixed deposit or a corporate bond, etc. Now that particular benefit has been taken away in the latest financial bill, I mean the latest budget. So I would say that इसकी वजह से थोड़ा सा debt instruments या debt funds का attraction कम हुआ है, but still it is not that they should not be considered at all when you are wanting to invest your retirement funds, because of a very simple fact that they give you a balancing act and they are still safe, a good yielding product for developing a retirement portfolio from your retirement investment of your retirement purpose. So yes, debt funds, in spite of the indexation benefit being removed, they should be considered. The still people want to ask, is there any alternative अगर हम debt funds पे ना जाएं तो what can be done, etc. I would say yes, अगर आप ऐसा नहीं करते हैं तो alternative है कि आप कुछ fractional ownership commercial assets में कर सकते हैं, commercial real estate में. You can also choose to invest in REITs or InvITs, which is the infrastructure kind of जो infrastructure based REITs होते हैं उसको InvITs बोलते हैं. So REITs में या fractional ownership of commercial property आप कर सकते हैं, wherein you will get rental yields which are almost as good or bad as debt funds, and capital appreciation भी मिलता है और indexation benefit भी मिलता है because that's a real estate based product. But if you choose a commercial real estate, even in fractional ownership or REITs, please be very sure that you are dealing with the right kind of people, both in terms of the agency which is helping you make that investment, or and also the end product in which you are making that investment. Because as compared to debt funds, the REITs are regulated, but the fractional ownership market is still not that well regulated, at least in India. So if you make a choice there, instead of a debt fund for investing your retirement purpose, we need to be working with people of very high integrity from the agency as well as the product side. I would make this recommendation now for the short service officers, and the biggest challenge which they face, they're retiring or they come out of the uniform at 35 to 40 years of age, between those ages, and they don't have a pensionary support or a regular pension coming to them, and that's a very, very big challenge. So they have to, their primary financial challenge which short service officers need to work for is creating assets for pension, और उसके लिए थोड़ा सा calculation we will be reaching there very soon. So the second point which they should be doing is that they have not purchased a house, they should purchase a house as soon as possible, even if it includes using the retirement purpose and taking a loan, etc., so that a major question of their life gets answered, a major financial question. And they have to keep in mind that they should develop their corporate career very, very competitively, because they need to earn approximately 40% more than their counterparts who are into pensionable service with the government of India, because that is the impact of the pension over a long period of time. So short service officers, they have this major challenge on their hand. They should buy a house as soon as possible, and they should start working towards creating assets which will give them the support of a pension in their later years. Recommendations for 60 plus years of individuals, been there, done that. They are now slowly getting into the senior category, the senior citizen category. First recommendation is that now your age is catching up. You will not be able to maintain your real estate assets with too much of active involvement. Therefore, if your real estate assets are spread in various geographical locations, and now if you have decided, or since you'll be settling in a certain place, so first recommendation is that consolidate your real estate, get it all at one place so that it is manageable by you. So sell real estate which is far off, get it closer to you. Not necessary that you invest in real estate, but even if you do choose to, try and invest in real estate which is within 50 kilometers of your area or your city. I mean, wherever you are living, at most 70, 80 kilometers, don't go beyond that. Second, since you are now already a senior citizen, please do go ahead and get a basic will prepared. Will has got nothing to do with the fact कि मेरे पास इतने assets हैं, क्या है, कैसे, या मेरा तो कोई complicated situation ही नहीं है. A will can be a very simple document which just catalogs your assets at one place, so that you also know as to what it is that you have created and what will you create going ahead. And for a very, I mean, for a healthy living, if you're already 60 plus and if you have invested your money properly, then you should now start engaging yourself socially. And if you're an armed forces officer, or if you're a central government officer who has spent bulk of his life 30, 32, 33, 35 years in a certain environment, now is the time that you also start looking beyond those connections and develop newer connections in the social circle so that you have a more vibrant and socially connected life after you retire. So maybe you can look at joining community-based service clubs, be a part of your RWS, or even pick up a new challenge to acquire a new skill, which keeps you mentally engaged and robust. But one, be very, very careful in investing your financial, I mean, your retirement corpus. Don't be a rate chaser at this age, because if you try and chase rate and if you lose capital, it can be a major, major, major reason for stress at a senior age, and it can get into a negative spiral. So better to get around 12 to 15% compounded conservative returns rather than trying to chase rates and end up with bigger losses. I would make a recommendation for the short service officers, for first time home buyers, that if you're not able to buy houses in bigger cities and your work will probably take you to bigger cities of say Mumbai metropolitan region or NCR or Bangalore or Hyderabad, etc., Pune, where the real estate prices have already shot through the roof, and it might be difficult for you to buy a house there, no problem. Acquire a residential asset in either of the four cities. At least if you're a North Indian, then all these four cities, I'll be at par. I'll look at them equally. Whatever suits you in terms of your background, whatever suits you in terms of your culture, language, or regional affinity, you can choose either of the four cities: Jaipur, Bhopal, Lucknow, Dehradun. And why? Because all these four cities have a good CANT support. They have all the armed forces facilities. They are state capitals, so law and order is better. The administrative support is better. They have good medical infra to be able to help you when you grow old and stay there. And the real estate is still manageable in terms of the price at which you can buy it. So if you're a first time home buyer, don't bother if you're not able to buy a decent house in the bigger cities. You can easily choose either of the four cities, buy a decent house, put it on rent. You can stay on rent in any of the big cities while you're working. And in next 20, 25 years, all these four cities will actually grow into much bigger cities, and your real estate also would have grown and given you handsome dividends while solving the essential question of you being able to buy a decent accommodation whenever you wish to settle, with all amenities of modern big cities available in these four cities. Now we'll do some calculations here. So this is very broad portfolio planning for an assumed amount of 1 CR, someone who gets 1 CR on retirement. So let's say a general portfolio mix wherein we have suggested 57% in equity or real estate or both. It can be one or a combination. Debt instruments of around 17 lakh 20,000, gold or gold here in the form of a sovereign gold bond to hedge the volatility or the risk at 17.2 lakh. Liquid investments in terms of fixed deposits or more liquid debt funds of around 8.6 lakh, total of 1 CR. In our experience, long-term averages with these kind of portfolios of the capital growth is approximately 11.47%. On the conservative side, if you make it more conservative and equity or real estate is reduced to 45%, then and the debt is increased to 30 lakhs, gold to 15 lakhs, and liquid to around 10 lakhs, then the expected return from this kind of a portfolio is 10.45%. Going on the extreme right, wherein aggressive portfolio, wherein the equity of the real estate is kept at around 80% or 80 lakh out of the 1 CR, and debt has been kept at 10 lakh, gold at 5 lakh, liquid at 5 lakh, then total investment returns can go up till 13, 14, 15%. So this is where the two spectrums lie, on the conservative side and the aggressive side. And then I have some recommendations for the three categories of officers who retire from the armed forces at different ages. One is the short service officers. Short service officers typically get around 50 odd lakh as a retirement corpus. Our recommendation to them is that they should go equity oblique real estate heavy, because they have age on their side, they do not have pensions, and they need to create capital so that they are able to meet their pensionary requirements when they finally reach the ages of 65. Out of 50 lakh, 40 odd should go towards equity oblique real estate kind of asset, and 10 lakhs towards the debt kind of assets at a CAGR of 15% over a 25-year period. This 40 lakh would become around 12 crores. आज सुनने में लगता है कि 40 लाख जो है 12 करोड़ हो जाएगा, बट 25 साल बाद उस 12 करोड़ की वैल्यू आज के 12 करोड़ जितनी नहीं होगी. It would just be good enough for this particular individual to be able to draw some pensions for the remainder of 20, 25, 30 years of life. So if someone is coming out at 38, 40 years of age and gets 50 lakh rupees as a retirement benefit, out of that they should invest around 40 odd lakhs in either real estate or equity. Let it grow there for 25 odd years so that they can then draw from that well, from that asset for another 25, 30 years to have a regular pensionary support in, because they don't have the government pension with them. Alternatively, they can buy a house using some money from this corpus and adding some part of a home loan with that. For officers who are coming out in PMR, they approximately get around 1.25 crore or 125 lakhs. Our suggestion is that they should go a 65-35% kind of a thing. They should invest around 80 lakh rupees in equity and 45 in debt. Overall, over a period of 15 years, the 80 lakhs in equity at a compounding of around 12%, because they have been able to give less time. So the compounded returns may not be that good. More time you give to compounding, the better the returns keep on getting if your choices of assets have been appropriate. So even at 12% compounded interest, these individuals should have after 15 years a corpus around 3 crore, which would be the asset from which they can continue to get growth, and the balance debt would give them around 1.8 crores over a period of next 15 odd years. And officers who are superannuating and now are either 60 or reaching 60 years of age, they get approximately 1.5 crore. Our recommendation to them is split your retirement corpus into two and make it 75, 75, 75 towards equity and debt. Your equity should give you around, it should continue to grow. So your idea of making this equity or real estate investment at this age is that becomes your anchor from where the capital appreciation continues to happen, and over a period of time you are able to continuously withdraw from this particular asset while your cash flow requirements are met by the balance of the 50%, which is towards the debt of 75 lakh. So with this, I am now on the last slide today as to why you should choose, if at all you wish to choose to work with us. Well, I would say that we have been in the industry for a fairly long time, around 17 odd years, and ours is the only organization wherein you will be able to get the widest product mix in terms of, we have almost all products with real estate, equity, debt funds, mutual funds, gold bonds, insurances, etc., etc., etc. And we have a very strong and well-educated and experienced team. My partner, who has also been coming for conducting the talks and also been a practitioner for 17 odd years, Jitendra Choudhary. He is MBA Finance, SEBI registered investment professional, QFPB qualified from Reliance Academy, MFI qualified, etc. I am BA Law, MBA Finance from MDI Gurgaon. So we have a fairly experienced and balanced team between us. and we are very detail oriented people. We generously use technology to help our investors so that they can keep a tab on what is happening. Finally, all I can say is that when a lot of other financial investors take your investment corpus as an opportunity, we our philosophy or our mindset is that this is where your money is our responsibility to make sure that you are never ever financially insecure, especially when you are not in a position to be able to generate more income. So I would end my today's talk with this.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind.